Good day! Welcome on our virtual lesson on animal cell. I am Leonie L. Sevilla as one of your instructors. Bear in mind that I am going to use this avatar and let's discover, experience, and learn what is the animal cell.
Hello there, my name is Teacher Kyla and I will be one of your instructors for this lesson.
Greetings, everyone. I am teacher Rinalyn, and today I'll be guiding our discussion. So, I've chosen this animated character as my avatar for this session. Now, before we begin, can anyone tell me what is the powerhouse of the cell? Yes, that is the mitochondria. Then let's dive into it.
At the end of the virtual lesson, we are expected to be able to identify the different parts of the animal cell and their functions. We are also expected to relate the function of every part of the animal cell to the different role in the society.
Did you know that the cell is discovered by Robert Hooke? He named these microscopic structures as cells, with a resemblance to monastery cells. Within cells are tiny organs which are called organelles, and for this video we will be tackling the organelles within the animal cell. So let's start with the first organelle, which is the cell membrane. It is also called the plasma membrane, and it is made up of phospholipid bilayer that covers the entire cell. It is also semi-permeable. When we say semi-permeable, this means that there are specific things that it only allows to pass through, such as oxygen, carbon dioxide, and protein. This membrane acts as a barrier around the cell and regulates passage of certain substances in and out of the cell. Do you think there is another organelle similar to that of cell membrane? What is it? If your answer is nuclear membrane, you got it right. The cell membrane is similar to that of nuclear membrane, and it is also known as nuclear envelope. It is called like that because it envelopes the nucleus. Just like the plasma membrane, it is also made up of phospholipid bilayer. Its function is also similar to that of a cell membrane. However, the filtering of the substances are much more stricter in the nuclear membrane. The two membranes mainly differ in their location and their surface, with the cell membrane outside of the cell and the nuclear membrane within the cell but outside of the nucleus. The nuclear envelope also has these little holes where tiny hair-like projections were located. However, in plasma membrane, it has a smooth surface. So how can you relate the functions of these two membranes to that of a police officer or a security guard? The cell membrane and nuclear membrane are like the security guards of a building, controlling who exits and enters and protecting the cell from harm. They are also like the police who do security checkpoints, especially during pandemic, where it is strict. They work together to maintain the proper functioning and safety of the system they are part of, just like how police officers and security guards do. Reflect on this question. Do you see yourself as one of those people that protect the community? Next, if there is a CEO in the society leading a company or institution, we also have the brain or the CEO of the cell, which we call the nucleus. The nucleus is like the brain of the cell. It's a double membrane structure that contains all the genetic information or DNA and instructions needed for cellular processes. It controls the cell's growth and reproduction and is responsible for many important activities like making proteins and creating different types of RNA. Without the nucleus, the cell wouldn't be able to function properly. So, how are houses made or buildings constructed? And who are those people that work together to build those infrastructure? The nucleolus makes all the parts needed to build the ribosomes, puts them together, and then sends them off to be used in protein synthesis, sort of like how construction workers use their tools to build a house. Without the nucleolus, the cell wouldn't be able to make ribosomes and wouldn't be able to function properly. Just like a construction site without workers and tools, there would be no house.
So now we have the mitochondria. They are known as the powerhouse of the cell. But do you know why? Well, That's because they turn organic material into energy for the cell. And this energy helps the cell to move and divide. Let's take a power plant as an example. These power plants convert fuel to give us electricity, much like a mitochondria converting nutrients into usable energy. The lysosome, often dubbed as the cellular janitor, functions as the cleanup crew in the cell. Just like a diligent janitor, lysosomes tirelessly work to maintain cleanliness and order by breaking down waste materials and recycling them into useful components. Lysosomes prevent the accumulation of cellular debris and help regulate the cell's internal environment. So, their meticulous work is crucial for cellular health and function, much like a role of a janitor in maintaining a clean and healthy workplace. And now we have the ribosomes, which are the small blue dots floating in the cytoplasm and is sticking to the endoplasmic reticulum. So each cell has ribosomes and they are known as the handyman of the cell. They create specific proteins that are essential for repairing other parts of the cell. So just like the food factory that follows recipes, the ribosomes use mRNA instructions to synthesize proteins vital for cellular functions.
Now, class, I have a question. Have you ever heard of Shopee application? I bet you already use that app. Now, the one who's delivering our parcels are called delivery rider, just like this guy. And the delivery rider and the endoplasmic reticulum have in common when it comes to their function. Now, the delivery rider is the one who's transporting our parcels. They are also making sure that our parcel or our order will be delivered to the right location. Just like the endoplasmic reticulum, they are making sure that the proteins, fats will go to its right destination. Now let's understand what is endoplasmic reticulum. So it is a collection of tubes, which is the one who's responsible for making, sorting, and transporting proteins and fats. Generally, it is a complex network of tubular membranes which is exclusively present in the cytoplasm of the eukaryotic cell. Now, when we say eukaryotic cell class, these are the cells which contain nucleus. As we can see, the illustration shown, the endoplasmic reticulum is like a lane. We can say that it is a road. So they are the one who's transporting. Now, class, earlier I told you that the endoplasmic reticulum has two types, and the first one is the rough endoplasmic reticulum. It is the one who's nearer on the nucleus. Now, the endoplasmic reticulum contains ribosome, and another question had already answered. Why endoplasmic reticulum transport proteins? It is because of the ribosome content on the rough endoplasmic reticulum. I believe that earlier another instructor told you about the ribosome. So ribosome is the one who's synthesizing protein. Now, class, the second type of the endoplasmic reticulum is the smooth endoplasmic reticulum. Now, unlike the rough endoplasmic reticulum, it doesn't contain ribosome. So it means it doesn't synthesize and produce proteins. Instead, it is the one who's producing lipids, such as phospholipids and cholesterol. Now, do you know that the cell membrane needs lipids, and you know that cell membrane is the one who's protecting our cell, just like what the other instructor told us earlier. And in the appearance, the smooth endoplasmic reticulum is like a tubular form, as we can see on the illustration. Now I have here, class, a customs officer. So let's hear what is his function on their workplace.
Hi, I have been working as a customs officer for how many years? Just like Golgi apparatus, we receive packages to sort, check if they're a problem and transport them. We make sure that packages will be transported to its right destination.
Now the next one class is the Golgi apparatus. The Golgi apparatus can be compared to customs officer. Customs officer are like the one who's packaging, sorting, and transporting packages to its eventual destinations. Now, the Golgi apparatus has multiple names. They call it Golgi apparatus or Golgi body. Now, the Golgi apparatus is named after the scientist who discovered it. And can you guess who is that scientist? Yes, you're correct. That is Camillo Golgi. Now, the Golgi apparatus is comprises of 5 to 8 cup-shaped series of compartments known as the cisternae. Now, the cisternae is a flattened, disc-shaped stock pouches that make up the Golgi apparatus. So now, what is the main function of the Golgi apparatus, ma'am? The Golgi apparatus is the one who's packaging and the one who secrete proteins. It receives the proteins from the endoplasmic reticulum. Since we talked about endoplasmic reticulum earlier, the RER is the one who's synthesizing proteins. Now, after receiving it package, scanning muna, so the Golgi apparatus will look if there is a defect on the proteins, then it will be packaged and be transported to the various destinations such as lysosomes, plasma membrane, or secretion. So they also take part on transporting lipids and the formation of the lysosome. Let's also find out what is cytoplasm. Can someone tell me what job or what work in the society can be compared to cytoplasm? Yes, we can compare cytoplasm to a educator or a teacher. All of the components of the eukaryotic cell outside of the cell nucleus are referred to as cytoplasm. The primary components of the cytoplasm is the cytosol, organelles, and the numerous cytoplasmic inclusions. Now, class, what is cytosol? Its structure. It is the area of the cytoplasm that is not filled by an organelle. Now, class, what is organelle again? Organelle are those part of the cell. And do you know that the cytosol consists of salt, organic molecules, filament from the cytoskeleton, and an 80% of water. So usually, cytoplasm is colorless and components of a typical animal cell. Yeah.
Now, class, based from the discussion, how do you think does the cell work? Yes, that is right. So, they provide structure for the body and also they take in nutrients from food then convert it into energy. So, class, the cells contain various organelles and each of them are like workers or important establishments that has a purpose in a society. So just like the parts of the cell, do you think all kinds of jobs are important? Yes, so different jobs contribute to the overall functions of a society. Just like the organelles being essential for the functioning of the animal cell, different jobs are also important for the well-being of a society. Now, class, when we learn about the animal cell, we are also discovering how tiny things keep life going. So every part has a job, showing us that even the smallest things have a purpose in life.
That's all for today's virtual lesson. Just bear in mind that you have a purpose. You live, for you have a role to play.